Welcome to this fellowship, each and every one of us, this wonderful Sunday morning. We thank the Lord for health, for waking us up, keeping us in our right mind, and keeping us to know the truth, because Jesus is the truth. We shall think this morning our thoughts about the presence of the Lord. As I was thinking, the first thing that came to my mind is to fear not, because the presence of the Lord means the absence of fear. It means fear takes off when we know that the Lord is near. So our theme this morning is just to think about the presence of the Lord, which gives us faith and it casts out all fear. And we will read the one in Matthew 14, and in Matthew 14, when the story starts from verse 22 there, but we won't start there. It is the story of Jesus and Peter and all the other disciples. Jesus had finished teaching the crowd, and he dispersed them. He told his disciples to go in the boat ahead of him. And after Jesus went, after the disciples were dispersed, and Jesus went another direction, he went to the mountain to pray, as was his habit to pray. So after he went, he came later on to them, and they rejoined them. But when they saw him walking on the water, they thought it was a ghost. And the first thing, because they were human, it was the fear. They thought it was a ghost that walking towards them. But we see there in verse 27, he says, Matthew 14, verse 27, we read 27 to 33. But Jesus immediately said to them, take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid. Lord, if it's you, said Peter, tell me to come to you on the water. Come, Jesus said. And then Peter got down out of the boat and walked on the water. He started walking on the water because he knew Jesus was right in front of him. Verse 29, come. And then Peter got down out of the boat, walked on the water, and came toward Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. And immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. You of little faith, he said, why did you doubt? And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. And then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. So today we see in the ones in this book of Matthew 14, when Jesus says, be not afraid, take courage, verse 27. Jesus says to him, he says to all of them, take courage, it is I. Take courage, it is I. These are the ones that are so encouraging in many of our situations today, to take courage, because Jesus is here. He is not far away anymore, and he lives in our hearts. He is closer than even Peter could think, because Peter just saw him from a distance. But we know Jesus is here with us, and he is saying to us, take courage. And I don't know what you might be going through, what your water is this morning that's threatening to sink you. I don't know what the wind is that keeps tossing you this way and that way, tossing your thoughts and bringing fear. But Jesus is saying to each and every one of us, take courage, it is I. And he is saying, fear not. He said it to Peter, why did you doubt? So doubt is the biggest enemy that brings fear when we start in doubting. It threatens us. I was talking to my daughter yesterday. I had not heard from her for 5 weeks. She lost the track of when she called me. But when I call, the phone doesn't answer, never answers, only when she chooses to call. And so I was saying, it has been so long since you called. And she was like, no, there wasn't. And then I pulled the date and they said, yes, on the 23rd of last month is when you called. I counted 5 weeks. And, I was thinking the things that have gone in my mind as I pray, as I have faith, but it's still, the wind of fear that comes, the wind of, what is what has happened. It just comes and it just paralyzes you. So, these ones, God just brings us the ones that we need to hear. Fear not, it is I. The presence of the Lord. The presence of the Lord is peace. The presence of the Lord gives us strength to move on. It helps us to take courage. So when Peter heard those words, he heard, he heard the ones to fear not. And even though when he took his eyes, he knew Jesus was right in front of him. But when he took his eyes off of him and he saw the wind, then fear just started paralyzing him. And immediately he started sinking. What is paralyzing us today? What is threatening us today? Is it the finances? Is it the illness of a loved one? Is it, this or that we don't know how it will work out and we don't know how to go about it? Fear not. They are the ones for us this morning, and we have these ones all throughout the Bible. Joshua was told to be of good courage, and I thought of him and Caleb, just looking at the giants in front of them, but they took their eyes off of the giants and they keep focusing on what God and they promised that I have given you this land. So sometimes we have to walk by faith and not by sight. We have to just trust Him. We have to just think of the promises of the word. And sometimes when we don't have anybody to encourage us, but like in David, we have to encourage ourselves. When David saw that his wives and his children and everybody else, his sons and daughters, they have been taken, everybody wanted to stone him, but he had nobody to encourage him, so he encouraged himself. We have to encourage ourselves, brethren, every once in a while. We have to take our eyes off of the threats of those who want to stone us. We have to take our eyes from the wind that is so powerful and threatening to knock us down. We have to take our eyes from the water that's threatening to sink us, because God has promised that He is going to be with us up to the close of the age. His presence means peace. His peace, Jesus said, my peace I leave with you, not as the world gives, but my peace, the peace that passes all understanding, is with us wherever we go. The peace of the Lord, may the peace of the Lord encourage us today in our deserts, in our big waters. Let the peace of the Lord encourage us. The presence of the Lord is power that is not of this world. May the Lord give us power when our knees are growing weak and weary, when all hope is gone, And I always think of Samson, when he and they blinded him, and he was losing, and they were all just ridiculing him. And he just prayed, Lord, just give me that strength, even physical strength. He got that physical strength in the last minute to bring down the house and everybody, and died in that moment with him. So the presence of the Lord is power. The presence of the Lord is peace in our hearts, our minds. The presence of the Lord is promise after promise, because when we have the Lord in our hearts, and we know that we are meditating on His presence, we are meditating also on His word. We are meditating on the promises that tell us, never, that He'll never leave us, He'll never forsake us. The promises that are telling us that He'll supply our needs. So His presence is also provision, because we know that our needs will be supplied. He knows our needs more than we know them. Sometimes we mix them up with our wants. But the Lord who fed the 5,000 is still here with us, and He will supply our needs according to His riches that never run out. His presence is peace and power, and His presence reminds us of the promises. So this morning we are reminded to walk in the promises of God. What He has a promise for every situation that we are in, because we know that He is a God, a loving Father that we have entrusted our lives to. In Isaiah 41, it tells us, "Fear not, for I am with you." Isaiah 41, let's look at verse 10. I'll read verse 10 of Isaiah 41. Isaiah 41, verse 10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. All who range against you will surely be ashamed and disgraced. Those who oppose you will be as nothing. But verse 10 tells us, do not fear. Do not be dismayed. He is our God. He is our God of every circumstance. He is our God, a God of hope. And He will never leave us. And He will uphold us with His righteous right hand. That means He will carry us through. He is a God that is able to carry us through all circumstances. And in Isaiah 35, verse 4, it tells us, Isaiah 35, verse 4, it says, "Say to those with fearful hearts, be strong, do not fear. Your God will come. He will come with vengeance, with divine retribution. He will come to save you." Isaiah 35, verse 4 there tells us the same encouraging ones, and it says to even encourage others. Encourage, strengthen the feeble hands, and steady the knees that give way. I started verse 3. Say to those with a fearful heart, be strong and do not fear. Your God will come. He will come with a vengeance. So even though our knees sometimes want to give up, even though situations come, we know that the word is telling us to fear not, because He is with us. That's what His presence means. The presence means that the fear starts walking away. Fear starts moving out, not because of what we have, but because of who we have, the God of hope, the God who will redeem us in every situation and restore us. and provide for us in whatever circumstances that we find ourselves in. And that Isaiah also, chapter 43, verse 1 and 2. I'll read Isaiah 43, 1 and 2. It says, "But now this is what the Lord says. He who created you, O Jacob, he who formed you, O Israel, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze." So, in all circumstances of life, the fire, the water, the wind, whatever it is, God is a God who reminds us this morning that He is a God of all seasons and all circumstances, God of the mountains, God of the valleys, God of the day and the night. And he is with us even today and in every circumstance. So let us, as we go before the Lord this morning, we will pray that we will walk in His promises, because without His promises, we will forget and look at the wind that's blowing us. But when we focus on the Word, that's where our faith is strengthened, because we know that this Word is a true Word that will never fail. So when we walk in His presence, let us also pray that God will help us to pray without ceasing, because without that connection, then our strength is diminished. He is a God of hope and reassurance. And as we go before Him this morning, let us believe that the God of all power, the God of all peace, the God of all provision will help us to be prayerful, and He will help us to walk in His word, and He